Their Eyes Were Watching God by Zora Neale Hurston. Main character, Janie Crawford, is a confident and good-looking middle-aged black woman who has returned to her childhood home in Eatonville, Florida, after a long absence. The black community members gossip about where she's been and what happened to her husband, Tea Cake. The townspeople mock her confidence, but her friend Phoebe Watson sticks up for her. Phoebe visits Janie to catch up on what has happened. Janie explains that she was raised by her grandmother after her mother took off. Nanny loves her granddaughter, but her life as a slave and experience with her own daughter has distorted her worldview. All she wanted was to marry her as soon as possible to someone who could provide security and social status. She wanted Janie to marry a much older farmer named Logan Killix. Janie moves in with Logan, but is miserable. Logan is analytical and unromantic and treats her poorly. One day she meets Joe Starks, a smooth-talking and determined man, walking down the street and meets Janie. The two hit it off and began flirting in secret for weeks, until she decides to run off and marry him. Janie and Jody, as she calls him, move back to Eatonville, where Jody becomes mayor, postmaster, storekeeper, and a big landlord in town. However, Janie is turned off by Jody's self-service and becomes bored by the life that they share. She wishes to be a part of the social life, but Jody doesn't allow her. Janie is simply a trophy wife for Jody and nothing more. Janie publicly submits to this, but deep down, she remains ambitious and full of dreams. After almost 20 years of marriage, Janie finally speaks out when Jody insults her looks. Janie scolds Jody in front of all the townspeople and denounces their relationship for all to hear. She reveals who he truly is. In retaliation, he beats her. Their marriage soon deteriorates, and Jody becomes very ill. After a few months of not speaking, Janie visits him on his deathbed and once again lectures him for all that he has done. She continues this until the moment that he dies. After the funeral, Janie feels free for the first time in years. Many come to court the widow, but Janie turns them all away, until Tea Cake, a man 12 years younger. Tea Cake immediately connects with Janie and they begin dating. To the town's shock, Janie marries Tea Cake only 9 months after Jody's death. The two sell Jody's property and move back to Jacksonville. They quickly run into marital issues when Tea Cake steals money from Janie, making Janie think he only married her for it. But when he returns, he is remorseful, and the two promise to do everything together. They move to the Everglades and begin to work during harvest season and take the summers off. They become the center of social circles and entertainment. However, a terrible hurricane bursts through the Everglades 2 years into their marriage, and Tea Cake is bitten by a rabid dog. They're not aware of the condition until Tea Cake begins to go crazy and thinks Janie cheated on him. He begins to fire his pistol at her, and she has to kill him in order to survive. She is put on trial for murder, but the all-white, all-male jury acquits her. Janie ends her story there, and the scene returns to her and Phoebe talking. Phoebe is shocked by Janie's experiences. Janie finally feels at peace with everything that has happened. That's it. Please like and subscribe to support the channel.